Alright guys, so I enjoyed my sun team from my little series on weather, so I decided to do a little series on my sun team. As you can probably tell, this is a little different than the sun team I use, but not too different. I think I replaced Heatran on this team and Nidoqueen in favor of Nidoking, which is a little more offensive, and I kind of needed that on this team. And I also put in Arcanine from my ice team, just to see how it would do in this team. So I did 3 battles today, making a few changes each time to see if I can get a pretty nice Sandstorm team. So anyway, he leads with Azelf. We actually battled once before, but it kind of disconnected, unfortunately. So the first time he tried to taunt me, and I hit him with a flamethrower. This time I thought that he'd predict the flamethrower and not taunt me and just U-turn out, because he doesn't want to take a flamethrower, obviously. Which is a great prediction for me, because he does U-turn out, and I get my sub up, which means I can get a free Will-O-Wisp on this Gyarados, and that's pretty awesome because, yeah, I like having Gyarados' Will-O-Wisp. So I go out in the fortress because, Earthquake, Waterfall, especially with the burn, he's not going to do anything in the sun. And I can set up my Stealth Rocks, which is never bad. So I'm going to set up my Stealth Rocks. He goes out into Boom, his Ferrothorn, which is a pretty nice play. I know I can't outspeed Ferrothorn and try to, sleep him or something, so I kind of have to switch and just let him set up his own Stealth Rocks, which really hurts this team. There's not really a whole lot I can do about it in the sun, but yeah, I don't really like Stealth Rocks, and now they're up, and my team, a lot of Pokemon in my team are actually weak to it, so that's not too good. Alright, but he does set them up, unfortunately. I go out into my Ninetales because I didn't want my Ninetales, to come in against a Stealth Rock. He goes out into Cofagarius. I go for the sub, which isn't bad. I'm going to go for the flamethrower because it's boosted in the sun. I know he's going to try to, Calm Mind or probably. But he ends up just going for Shadow Ball, which is really good for me because my bulky Ninetales actually takes that like a champ. And bulky Ninetales is pro. Not a lot of people realize this, but Ninetales actually has 100 base special defense, so she's not really weak. And he's just going to switch now, which is probably a mistake for him. He goes down to Infernape, and after I see this Infernape, I realize one of the big mistakes of this team. I'm still completely destroyed by fire types because the Arcanine I have on this team isn't Flash Fire, it's Intimidate. This Fire Blast, I have nothing on this team to take Fire Blast. So I think after this combat, or after this battle, I will replace Arcanine with a Flash Fire Arcanine. So that was my change after this battle, but that's just a side note, I guess. So anyway, he goes for the Fire Blast, breaks my sub, I almost kill him, and now he's going to finish me off with Close Combat, which I also really had nothing to take, except for maybe Venusaur, but I was afraid he'd go for the Fire Blast again. He ends up not killing me with Close Combat because this is bulky Ninetales, and I do have, I think, max HP investment, so that's pretty awesome. But I go for Flamethrower for some reason, and that does nothing. So I can't really switch out. He goes out into his Jolteon for the revenge kill. There's nothing really I can do. I could switch out, but I just die on switch in, so I decide to stay in and hope for something. Never mind. I don't even know what I was hoping for. But anyway, I don't see any leftovers or life orbs, so I assume this thing is Specs, maybe Scarfed. So I go out into my Rhyperior because I know I can get a free setup on this guy. And yeah, I just go for the Rock Polish, which is pretty nice play. He goes out into Gyarados, which yeah, I can super effective, but he gets the Intimidate, which will limit my sweeping capabilities. So it's actually a pretty nice play for him because now he's not going to my Rhyperior isn't going to be able to sweep because after an Intimidate I'm pretty weakened. I go for the Stone Edge just to finish him off. Even if he did manage to attack me with Waterfall, I don't really know how much that would do with my Solid Rock ability and the Sun and his burn, so it probably still wouldn't have even hurt that much, but whatever. Anyway, I go out into Arcanine against this Ferrothorn, this rape monster thing, and he's going to Power Whip me, which is not very good after the Intimidate, which I get off, which is awesome. And yeah, he goes for the Power Whip. That does not a whole lot, and I am just going to go for a Choice Band Close Combat, except he goes into a Ghost, and I fail at a life. So that kind of stinks, so I'm going to switch out now, and I go out into Flower Dino, and Flower Dino is just going to, sit there and take a Will-O-Wisp, because he doesn't really care that much, because, yeah, he's a special dude. But none of his Pokemon is asleep, so I can go for the Sleep Powder because I won't be violating Sleep Clause, and because of Chlorophyll, I'm faster than pretty much everything, and yeah, I don't really mind what I put to sleep because sleep is broken in this gen. So I end up getting this Cofagrius to sleep, and that's not so bad. And I think what I do next is I go my Growth, predicting the switch. But he ends up staying in, which is, whatever, I guess. I probably should have just went for the Leech Seed this turn, but for some reason I decided Growth. Like I said, I thought he'd switch, which it still makes no sense, because the only Pokemon he'd probably switch to is Ferrothorn, and he can't take a Leech Seed, obviously, or my Solar Beam won't do squat to Ferrothorn. So I don't know why he didn't go out into Ferrothorn here, but whatever. So I go for a Leech Seed now, thinking, okay, maybe he'll try to stay in and wake up. And he ends up waking up and going for a Psyshock, which is a pretty awesome move. On a Cofagrius. I didn't even expect it, but it's super effective, and that sucks. But after my Growth, which actually gives me +2 special attack in the Sun, because Growth is awesome in the Sun, it got buffed in this gen, which is a nice boost for Sun teams. I can go for the Solar Beam, and I'm pretty confident I can KO. It's a pretty damn powerful move, especially at +2, so hoping that I KO it, and I do, so that's pretty nice, and that Cofagrius goes down. Unfortunately for me, I lost my source of HP, so yeah, I'm going to be at low hit points, and I'm still burned, which is continuous damage and starting to get annoying. He goes out into Jolteon, but I'm still faster because he's not Scarfed. I think he would have outsped me if he was Scarfed, but I do have Chlorophyll, so he's a Specs one. And that is going to probably kill the Jolteon, and it does, at +2. So now he goes out into the thing he probably should have went into in the first place, and that's Ferrothorn, because Ferrothorn resists my attack, and I can't Leech Seed it, so I can still put it to sleep, but still, there's not a whole lot I can do beyond that. I go for the Sleep Powder, that's going to put to sleep that darn Ferrothorn, and now I'm going to get the heck out, because Flower Dino really has nothing to do to this guy. However, I do have some Pokemon that can do stuff to this guy. I'm going to go out into my Nidoking, which is Sheer Force Nidoking with Life Orb. And as I said in the beginning of the video, I decided to use this over Nidoqueen just because I needed some extra firepower, and this is extra firepower. I go for a Flamethrower, which is a super powerful move, especially in the Sun, and that is a dead, thing. Yeah. When that's freaking awesome, and yeah, stuff. So he goes into his last Pokemon, which is a Zelf, and I'm just going to take the Psychic because I know that this is pretty much a win for me. So I let him take down my Nidoking because I really don't have anything on my team that can take a Psychic at this point. I go into Flower Dino just so I can get the sleep off, which will basically be, game. I guess I could have gone for a Solar Beam. It might have KO'd, but just going for the sleep is probably the better move because now I can just go out into basically anything and kill this guy. And I forget what I end up going out into after Flower Dino dies to the burn, but yeah. Oh, I go out into Rhyperior, that's right. And figuring that even if he wakes, yeah, I think I go for a Rock Polish actually first, just in case. I don't know why, but I like Rock Polish. It doesn't really matter because it's only one sleep that turn either way. But yeah, I just go for the Mega Horn, and that is game. So good game, Jero for the win. That's his name, by the way. I don't think I actually said it in the beginning of the battle, but he is a relatively new YouTube battler, and he was going to post as well. So it was a nice game, so make sure you check him out. Yeah, he's a pretty awesome YouTube battler. Like I said, after this battle, I think I made the switch to, what's it called? Fire Absorb? Not Fire Absorb, dang it, what's the move called? Flash Fire, that's it. I changed my Arcanine to a Flash Fire one for the next battle. The next battle will be against a guy named the Pika-Woo, and that one was difficult, so stay tuned for that. Alright, so a few days ago, I think I asked everybody what is a Pokemon they used for, or would never consider using no matter what. What is a Pokemon that you consider using no matter what, even though it stinks? As for me, Rhyperior is probably not the best Pokemon that could fill up that slot in my Sun team, but I always loved Rhyperior. It's an awesome Pokemon, and just a great, awesome, fun thing to use. Another Pokemon that I use just for the sake of it, you can probably find them on my channel, be in my background, Dustbuster, obviously, Politoed, Credilli, Mismagius. Those Pokemon are kind of down there, or at least, well, okay, Politoed isn't anymore, but it used to be. And I would use them no matter what, basically. And, of course, Magikarp. Hello, Magikarp. Magikarp's my favorite Pokemon, and I use that, once, twice, actually twice, maybe 3 times, I don't know. But, yeah, so rate, comment, subscribe, leave a comment about a Pokemon you would consider using no matter how bad it was, even if it is good. You can say, like, if you really like Scizor, you can say Scizor. Like, even if Scizor had, like, the stats of a Magikarp. Which is actually pretty epic, but still. Anyway, rate, comment, subscribe, guys, and see you later. Bye.